What's the most requested topic on this channel? Bro, please make a video on advanced meditation. That's exactly what we're doing with Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai. He is by far the smartest human being that I've come across in this country in my lifetime. Also extremely spiritually advanced. He's been meditating for more than 30 years. So he's got a lot of information in his mind when it comes to advanced meditation. That's right. According to me, I break down meditation into two parts. The first is the basic kind of meditation where you have to just get yourself to meditate for 20 minutes a day. But what if you want to take it to a higher level? Instead of weight training, what if you want to do powerlifting now when it comes to meditation? So guys, if you want some guidance on where to begin your advanced meditation process, that's what this podcast will give you. Also keep in mind that the audio version of this podcast is linked in the description down below. So make sure you check that out if you're more of a listener than a watcher. And as always, the comment section will have a breakdown of the entire episode. So if you want to skip to a particular topic, scan the comment section. So this is Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai on the Ranveer Show once again. This is his dope on advanced meditation. Enjoy yourselves. Om Shanti 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 Shanti. What's good, everybody? Welcome to another Intelligent Conversations Only episode of the Ranveer Show. We've got one of India's smartest men, Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai, sir. So thank you again for being on the podcast.
It feels like being a part of the family. It's like coming home. So thank you once again, Ranveer, for making me part of this show. It's an honor.
Whenever we do Bollywood podcasts, one of our top comments is, why are you doing Bollywood? We want Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai.
Oh, the intelligent guy. The so-called intelligent guy.
Yeah. So, sir, do you agree, and I'm going to dive straight into the topic, do you agree a big part of your intelligence and your personality today has come out of your practice of meditation?
100%.
Okay.
In fact, without meditation, you can't achieve most of the higher things that you aspire for.
Yeah. Including material wealth also.
100%. I think that's a byproduct of meditation. Maybe not the real efforts should be put on material benefit alone, but those people who meditate also gain at the material level if they want to.
Yeah. Can you elaborate on that? Like, so a lot of people want to become rich, they want to become big in their careers. Yeah. And they question, where does meditation fit into this whole career growth thing?
Sure. So I think I would split meditation into three levels. One is the physical, second is the mental, and the third is at the spiritual level. I think everybody may have different purposes to it. So if you look at the physical level, there are a lot of people who say, exercise kar lo and then, calm down your mind with meditation. Take some 3 deep breaths, sit down quietly, maybe just do Omkar chanting. Now these are at the physical level. And it does actually make you much healthier, better when you breathe in, sit quietly for some time. But I think the real game starts when you move in from the physical to the mental level, because finally the body and the mind both are connected. And as they say that man is what his thoughts are. So if you can calm down your thoughts. So I think there are a lot of benefits, right from, stress, which we can de-stress ourselves. You look at, if you're going through a depressing state of your mind, and meditation could help. So that's almost at the mental level.
Yeah. So this is one of those things that you figure after you begin meditating, that just the way physical exercise can, benefit your physical body. Like
Yes.
doing a bicep curl benefits your bicep. Yes. When you actually experience deep meditations, you realize, wait, even my brain is going through some kind of an exercise.
Yes.
format.
Yes.
But you'll only understand this once you do the meditations.
So it's like this, hearing and reading about swimming and actually doing swimming. So to get into the water, so a lot of people have read books on meditation, a lot of theories, but till you don't do it, I think you will never understand what's in it for meditation.
Yeah.
So I think,
and do it regularly, like.
I think that's what you call in Sanskrit or Hindi also. It's called abhyas. Continuously doing it over a period of a time, you'll benefit from it. So if you go to the gym first time, and it's like, okay, I want to go to look good. Second day, it'll start paining, because suddenly, all the muscles have got stressed. And then you said, okay, second time, third time. And there comes a point of time when you're not exercising is when you feel bad.
100%.
So whatever they say, 21-day habit creation or whatever. So I think once it becomes a habit, then you actually can't stop meditation.
Yeah, 100%. So, and your third level of, you were talking about physical, mental,
and spiritual.
Okay.
I think that's the real benefit of meditation. So when we look at, a lot of people who are expecting some tangible results from meditation. So I know of companies who promote meditation, yoga, and I know intentionally they want their profits to go up because we have a calm person, you have more productive people, you take better decisions, you don't mess up things. But somewhere the end result is that, did it show on the balance sheet? Are our shareholders happy? Okay, that is a good start. But as you go higher and higher, it's like basic education at school is okay, college is okay, but when you go to the university level, it's all about research. So the highest level of meditation, according to me, is spiritual gain, and that time you start looking at the whole life very differently. You look at it from a detached point of it, and a real meditator really doesn't care about the worldly benefits. Even though the worldly benefits would come to them, they said it's fine, but I want to go not just to understand the mind, but actually go beyond the mind.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that's the highest stage, and then that finally everything is a mind game.
Yeah. So can you explain this beyond the mind concept?
Okay, so I think let's go into the very basics. So what is a mind? Mind is a flow of thoughts. That is what Swami Chinmayananji, my spiritual guru, used to tell. So mind is a flow of thoughts, and if there are no thoughts, there is no mind. But people have never actually consciously understood that there could be a state of mind where there are no thoughts. But the moment there are no thoughts, no mind. In reality, all of us go through it on an everyday basis. Where do we do that? Sleep. No, I would say even go to the extent of deep sleep.
Okay.
So I would say the first is the waking state that we all see. The second is, when we go to sleep, but actually we're dreaming.
So your brain is still active. Your mind is still active.
Exactly. But that few hours when you're beyond time. So suppose you're very tired, you had a very heavy day, heavy workout, you just hit the bed and you're gone. And the moment you get up, it's like, alright, it's been 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. That time there is no thought. But there have been also times when you sleep, but when you are actually imagining things, maybe what happened during the day. People go into even the effects of going through horror images in the mind. Now that's not thoughtless mind. It is sleep with thoughts.
Yeah. Your mind is still active in creating things.
Imagining probably.
Yeah.
So this is still not the state of mind. So in fact, in the Indian literature, there is a final stage. You go beyond the mind. It's called Turiya Avastha.
Okay.
Beyond everything. And a lot of people who go there don't want to come back because they find this is horrible.
Yeah. Like you're talking about sadhus in the Himalayas and those kind of people.
Absolutely. In fact, I can tell you a story also about a very well-known saint in modern India. It's called Sai Baba. Shirdi ke Sai Baba, everybody goes. So there is a story about him that he once meditated and he told his people, okay, so I'm going to go into the state of samadhi and I will come back.
What is samadhi?
Samadhi is exactly this particular point where, it's like you're using meditation as a tool. It's like when you are going, what is that sports called? Javelin
Pole vaulting.
Pole vaulting, okay.
Yeah.
So you use the pole, but you leave back the pole to go on the other side. So you use your mind meditation tools, but when the other side you go there.
Yeah, you jump over into the mindless.
So
state.
exactly, you have to leave the mind also behind. No thoughts.
Got it.
So there are a lot of sadhus who can actually do that. So when Sai Baba of Shirdi actually did that once, and he told his people, I'm going to go into samadhi state where I'm going to go off, and then I'll come back. What happened? He actually went to that state and the body was absolutely flat, and people said he's dead. So the whole discussion that happened among all the people sitting around, like, now let's bury him, let's burn it, because when the person is dead, you may cry, but the fact remains is that the body is going to decay and it's going to be harmful for others. But this devotee said, no. Sai Baba told that he's going to come back, he's going to come back. But it's been a few days now, you can't have this. But then actually consciously comes back. And I'll tell you another story about how you go into the samadhi avastha, but you have to come back. And a lot of people have seen this in their experiences. So let me give you another, like Sai Baba, we have Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, who was the guru of Swami Vivekananda. So he used to be always in samadhi avastha, and it's not like going once. So it was very difficult to get him back to a normal state. So there have been recorded experiences. So he used to just go into trance, into that level of samadhi beyond the mind, and suddenly he used to come back and say Rasgulla, Rasgulla, Rasgulla. So people used to wonder, and they used to keep on Rasgulla behind it. Wow. And then people asked him, what is this whole thought? You're supposed to be meditating, you come back and say Rasgulla, Rasgulla. Yeah. Then he says, I'm consciously aware that I'm going to that state, but if I go there, I may never come back. But I have a lot of things yet to do in this particular world. So what I do is that I leave one thought behind, which will bring me back. So when I'm that state, somewhere, I get conscious, okay, what is that one thought? Because I'm disconnected already. Oh, Rasgulla. So I'll just come back and say, where is that Rasgulla?
Got it.
So first is physical level, mental, and the spiritual level is for highly evolved souls who understand everything is beyond this mind and beyond this world.
Yeah, 100%. So I'll give you an example of a 26-year-old living in 2000.
Please share your meditation experiences.
So before I talk about the actual experience, I'm going to come to last weekend's story. Okay. I was out with some of my friends and they were all drinking. I've stopped drinking since I don't know how long, I think 2 years now. And the question to me was, why do you not drink? So my
And you have a channel called BeerBiceps.
yes, sir.
So what's the connection? I want to know.
I will tell you this story as well.
Yeah.
Basically, they asked me, why aren't you drinking? And my answer to them was, I'm deep into my yoga practice. And honestly, believe it or not, I do feel a high 24/7 without actually taking a substance.
Sure.
Because your mind has kind of calmed down to that level.
Yeah.
Colors are more saturated. You know, your mind is working way faster than it
Yeah,
used to before you started your meditation practice. Now, all this information I can't exactly explain to them, you know, in few sentences.
So it's like telling I'm already on a high.
Yeah.
Why I don't require this?
Yeah. But their immediate response when they listen to me saying, no, but I'm already on a high, is that, hey, chal kuch bhi. You know, like they don't believe it because they've only experienced the high of alcohol or
Yes.
drugs.
Yes.
So it's difficult to explain to the average person, but years of meditation. I think I've been meditating for 4 years now. It really changes the way you look at the world, the way you look at your work, the way you look at the people around you. And more than anything, I feel the big change for me has been my internal world has become very calm. Even if there's like the worst trouble in my life, in my work, I'm so calm from the inside. And all the decisions, all the solutions happen in a very calm state of mind. But it's happened over time. There obviously has been the actual practice of meditation, the practice of all these yogas. I mean, YSS, which is the Yoga and Satsang Society, where we're trained in advanced meditations, advanced yogas. But it's also kind of training your own mind. If you see anger rising within you, stop the anger, push it down.
Consciously.
Yeah. If you see agitation rising within you, you understand, nee, this is not correct, stop the agitation.
The awareness is there.
Yeah. So the awareness has come over time. But this began back in 2015 when we had started BeerBiceps. I was into bodybuilding, powerlifting. And I'd read that meditation, this thing called meditation, which I'd never experienced in my life before that, it helps in your muscle recovery. So that's how I had gotten into it. I thought that, wow, you know, something that'll like just help me heal faster so I can get even bigger muscles. And I just began doing Om chanting back then. Now, the first time I ever did Om chanting, so you sit in one place, you close your eyes, you breathe in, and when you're breathing out, you give one loud Aum. You just do that. You do it for 20 minutes. At some point, you know, okay, now it's time to open your eyes. The first time you open your eyes, you look around, you see that the floor of your room, the roof of your room, everything, the colors are very saturated, the colors are very intense, and you feel a new kind of calm. You feel that in that moment, you're very happy. In that moment, you're very peaceful. And possibly you also have some answers for your career, some answers for your business.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, the longer you meditate, the more intense all these experiences are. But the key here is again practice. Eventually, I was blessed enough to discover a lot of courses. That's the one advantage of living in India, which people don't understand.
Sure.
That we are the spiritual capital of this planet.
Yes.
And anything you want to learn about advanced meditation, you can learn in this country.
Sure. Only.
Yeah, only. Like there are versions of it that you can learn abroad, but if you want a buffet,
Purest form.
yeah, a buffet of the purest forms of meditation, it's all in this country.
Wow.
So I went for initially I went for a Reiki course. I went for a transcendental meditation course, and eventually after doing a bunch of these courses, I found Yoga and Satsang Society after reading the book called The Autobiography of a
Of
Yogi.
a yogi.
A book that inspired me to another degree. But that was my meditation story. And I do feel that meditation changes the biology of your body. So eventually I gave up non-veg, didn't drink, don't do any vices anymore. But what it's really gifted me with is superhuman abilities for my work. Too much stamina,
Right.
fast brain processing power. And there's Harvard studies to back this, Stanford studies to back this. I'll actually link them down below. Read those. Read how meditation can actually change up the structure of your cerebrum.
Yes.
Sir, but my question to you now is, can you take us through your meditation story and how it actually helped change your personality? You're a world-renowned author today. You're considered one of the most intellectual people on the planet. So what has it done specifically to you on a human level?
Okay. Thank you for sharing your stories because it's so beautiful to know that it actually helped you at the physical and at various levels.
Yes, sir.
So let me tell you my story. I've been almost meditating for the last 30 odd years. And because I've been connected with Chinmaya Mission, it's a spiritual organization since my childhood, there was a spiritual background to it. So my entry was more at the spiritual level itself.
Okay.
So as I told you, there are three kind of people: the physical, the mental, and maybe at the spiritual level. So I've been very fortunate. So in the initial stages, when I was a child, we used to go to this child classes in Chinmaya Mission called as Balvihar.
Okay.
So it's okay, now you have to sit and meditate. So the simple instructions were, sit down, don't be a question mark, sit straight, and then take deep breaths and Om 3 times. Okay, as a kid you said, "ठीक है." Okay, watch your mind. Your mind is a monkey. Can you see it going? Can you tell him to come back? General instruction given to a child. Now that was the starting point. But as I grew up, I started seeing that okay, there are different forms of meditation also, different schools of thought, and there is actually theory which is documented. For example, Patanjali's Yoga Sutras is one of the most fantastic books which talks about meditation, and it talks about physical level discipline to be a good yogi or a meditator. Like for example, Patanjali Yoga Sutra actually says that yoga chitta nivritti. So what happens is that if there is, what is yoga? A state of thoughtless mind. So can you achieve that? But no, it's not possible. Saying that you sit down and there will be no thoughts. Chitta is your thought has to be eliminated. But it's not possible day one. So what you do is that you actually start at the basic level. So yama, niyama, there are different steps. So basically discipline yourself. Okay, can you sit down? Don't worry about meditation, but maybe as a beginner, you just sit down for 10 minutes with a closed eyes. You don't have to worry about thoughts and all. That itself is a discipline. Then slowly you get into what you said, maybe eating the right food, getting up the right. So all these basic things. So I started realizing, okay, there are theories of meditation. Then my father being a meditator, you'd be surprised, my father is 82 years old and he meditates for 8 hours a day.
Wow.
Even now. And he's the fittest person I've ever seen in the world. So father used to actually do a form of meditation. He's actually a Vipassana teacher. So I went and did a Vipassana course.
Vipassana is where you have to follow a silence for
Absolutely
10 days.
10 days. But he does it for 45 days.
Wow. Crazy.
But it's not easy. So I have tried that path. Then actually I have
Can we actually talk about that Vipassana?
Absolutely.
So what had happened to you at the end of, can you describe your Vipassana experience?
Sure.
What happens?
Sure. So again, I was introduced to either Chinmaya mission or even Vipassana by my father. So what happened is that since Papa used to actually meditate and he still continues, so he casually told me that, why don't you do one thing? So the curiosity was there. The best part about getting into spirituality for me was that I was never forced into spirituality. So he just took me casually to Chinmaya mission. I became a member. So he said, you want to do it, do it. So he never told, you have to do it. So as a young boy, I said, okay, so let me try. So Vipassana is a form of meditation taught by Buddha. And it said that basically lot of these secrets of ours were stored in the purest form outside India.
As in?
As in, so for example, the people who now practice Vipassana meditation are actually, most of them, followers of Goenkaji. Who is Goenkaji? He was a person who actually lived in Burma, an Indian settled in Burma. And once he had a migraine problem. Now think about it, Goenkaji had a migraine problem and somebody told him, there is some Vipassana meditation in Burma, okay? So there was this Buddhist teacher who actually told us that, I will teach you something which actually comes from your country. It's called Vipassana. I said, what's Vipassana? I never heard about it. I'm only concerned about one thing, mera migraine jana chahiye. So he taught him. And interestingly, he realized that the migraine is anyway gone as a byproduct, but there is a secret that not many Indians know about it. So he came back to India and he started telling people, so what is Vipassana meditation? It starts with basic steps of, watching your breath. So, watch your breath. And it's not very easy because you'll watch your breath in 2-3 cycles, then your mind will go. Then bring it back. Slowly, the practice is that you have to do it for 10 days. And you can't do it alone, by the way. It's very important that meditation also requires somebody to guide you in the process because you can go bonkers and you may think that you're going in the right direction.
Any kind of meditation or just Vipassana?
I think definitely types of meditation should have a guru, a coach. So even if you're going into the gym, you require a coach because you may just spoil your muscle and you may think you need to pull it up. No, actually you may be tearing your muscles beyond a point. So I think it's important.
It makes that initial process fast also, I feel.
And you don't do the mistakes which probably others do. So you reach your goals faster. Because you're talking about Chanakya concept here. It's called Vriddha Sanyogaha. Being an associated with a person, Vriddha, a wise and experienced person who has walked the path before you. So interestingly, what happened is that when I did meditation, so I came to know that Goenkaji actually got trained under a guru. He came back to India and started teaching this form of meditation. And today, Vipassana meditation is across the globe. There's a lot of centers in Igatpuri, in Bombay. Igatpuri is in Maharashtra. They have a full-fledged center. In Bombay, we have SL World. It's a theme park. Just next to that, there is a Buddhist pagoda where 10,000 people can meditate together. Oh, wow. And it's a worldwide movement. So the basic, I think all of us who are interested in knowing Vipassana should attend a course of 10 days. And the best part is that absolutely free of cost. They don't charge you.
So what happens at the end of the course?
So I think one of my very dear students and colleague in my office, Pranav Patel, He just went to Vipassana camp and came back. And the first thing I thought is calm, quiet. I was like, okay, let us do business together now.
Wow.
So the idea is basically after 10 days, you start realizing that actually you can be a normal person without speaking to anyone.
Okay. God.
And somewhere we, and especially, till we don't speak it out, we don't feel comfortable. Of course, human beings have to speak out. But the thing is that you can go within. So all the energy that is used to go outside is now getting used to go inside.
And used for what?
In fact, I think it's like having a very sharp knife.
Okay. Got
So now if I have to ask you that use for what, it depends on you. So if you're a surgeon, you'll use the same sharp knife to save somebody's life.
So basically, if you waste a lot of your energy talking and thinking outwards and doing things outwards, you're blunting your knife. Is that like what you're saying?
Absolutely. So you're using it. And so I think it's very important, coming back to the basic question of meditation, to actually conserve your energy, conserve your thoughts. In fact, meditation is also about not allowing certain thoughts to come in. And so if you look at the basic level, they say, there's a time for meditation, there is a place for meditation, and there is a way of meditation. So basics, for example, you can't sit outside a dustbin and say, now I'm going to meditate.
Yeah.
So when you say you go into a puja room, light a candle, have a photo of a god, and then light an agarbatti, and get up in the morning at 4 o'clock. So now many people think, why is this basic required? The reason is that basically these are all ecosystems that will help you in the initial baby steps. Because 4 o'clock, half of the world is sleeping. But the real yogis and rishis, they say, are meditating in the Himalayas. But later on, as you practice it, it's like, driving a cycle. So initially you require somebody to support you, balance you. But once you have got in the habit of it, you can be on a highway also and not even think twice. So real meditators are 24-hour meditators. So they are actually active in the business world, running a kingdom probably as a king, or maybe doing an acting show and a show like this. But the mind is like, it's on a very fast mode, at the same time very calm mode.
Yeah. That knife is sharpened.
It's sharpened and use it for the right reason.
Yeah.
The sharpened knife can be dangerous if it is used for killing others. So a robber can use it. So sharpened mind should also be used for noble purposes.
Yeah.
So what is important? That meditate for service of the people.
100%. So I want to ask you, coming back to your ecosystem topic, a lot of people gravitate towards these meditation apps and they bring a lot of technology into meditation. Like I know someone who uses a device to actually measure their brain waves.
Yes.
Like for
I'm also aware of it.
Yeah. So what is your take on that? Like, because a lot of people watching this, they rely on those meditation apps and they swear by them.
Yeah.
My personal view is like, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that, but I think it's just going to give you the benefit of becoming calm. But beyond that, all these mental and spiritual benefits, you need to do a proper technical meditation, which is free of technology. That's just what I think. But so what do you think?
I think you're absolutely right, because see, there are too many apps around and you have got one more app, maybe a fitness app or a meditation app, you download it. So I'm saying that it's good, but as we say, Google search is not research.
Correct.
So it's information based. So all these tools are good. But the interesting part is that if you want to really be a serious meditator, then you should actually have a guru.
Yeah.
So, somewhere you should get associated with some organization.
Yeah. So like a lot of people, especially in the modern day, kind of look down on this practice of gurus and, the practice of joining a organization like YSS or Chinmaya Mission, just because either they think it's too old school, it's like ye budo ka kaam hai, or they look down on it thinking that no, this is religious, I don't want to get into it.
Correct.
It's that. I think that if you just give yourself that one, moment of reaching out in search of knowledge and then practice that knowledge for it, you'll see the rest of your life change. So for that 1 month also, just follow someone, get that initial spark and then take it up yourself. But be open to joining one of these courses. That's what I feel.
And you're absolutely right. So the biggest problem now is guru shopping.
Like, what do you mean?
So it's like you're going to this guru and that guru and finally landing up with no guru.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, what is your definition of a meditation guru?
Wow, that's a deep question. Definitely someone who speaks to you. Okay, I'm very drawn to Sadhguru, just the things he says. And also obviously YSS, which is Yoganand Paramahansa. When I read his book, I felt like it was talking directly to me, talking to my heart. So I feel, listen to your intuition. If you feel that there's something in this person that really connects to you, there is a chance that that person could play a guru's role in your life.
Sure.
And it's not necessary. I mean, in the long term, if you're following one guru, that's beneficial for you in your advanced meditations. But initially, you should have perspective at least of what is Sadhguruji saying, what is Yoganand Paramahansa saying, just to kind of develop your own mind in a 360-degree manner. So I feel someone who speaks to you, to your heart,
Yeah.
and also a place where you definitely you feel like your mind is enriched after listening
Yeah.
to that person.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. You feel like, okay, I've intellectually been stimulated as well as on an emotional and spiritual level in my heart.
Brilliant. Now let me go to the next level and ask you another question.
Sure, sir.
So do you require a guru who is physically interacting with you, who speak to, maybe discuss with you? Is it necessary?
This is a topic I wanted to bring up in this podcast, which is astral bodies. It's a deep topic. Okay, now this is something again I've not spoken about on YouTube earlier. And this is something that a lot of everyday people will laugh upon. They will say that, "Nahi, what are these people saying?" I actually don't want to elaborate on this topic because I'm in the presence of Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai. So I'm going to allow you to, I'm going to push that question back at you, sir. Yeah.
That's called the smartest man in India. Thank you for pushing it back to me. So I think the basic question right now is, first of all, do you require a guru? And then second question is basically, do you require a guru who is around with you physically, with whom you can discuss, talk? I think for most of us, we require somebody with whom you can talk to, discuss with you. Because see, what happens is that you're absolutely right. If you look at what Sadhguruji is doing, amazing. I think I know of friends who have heard and seen every single video of his. But then I also know that's the first step, and they actually lined up doing a course with Sadhguru in his particular ashram. And they say, I already knew Sadhguru's thoughts, I've seen it, I've read his books, etc. But then when I went over there, I could actually feel the vibes very differently. So I think reading about gurus is very important. But what's very important that if you, by the grace of God, and that's very important, okay, by the grace of God, you actually find a guru, then we can speak to, talk to, then it's like saying, I'm charging my battery somewhere, but I'm directly charging from the source. Now that doesn't mean, if you don't have a physical guru, you should not meditate or whatever.
Gurus can be astral as well, non-physical.
Absolutely. So what I'm saying is the quality of the student is more important when it comes to the teacher.
Yeah.
So let me look at two great students of Mahabharata. So one is Arjun, directly trained under the teachers like, Dronacharya, Kripacharya, Bhishmacharya. And one guy called Eklavya, who never even met his guru. So he made some idol out of him. And whom do you think is more better as a student?
I personally think Eklavya.
Absolutely. But Eklavyas are rare also.
Yeah.
So let us aim for Eklavyas, but let us be also Arjunas.
Yeah. Also, so a lot of people are watching this thinking that, okay, but how do I get a guru which is non-physical?
100%.
The quick modern day answer is books written by a great man.
Absolutely. Absolutely right. I think when you have those great masters who are no more physically around, still the books can inspire. Yeah. You just told about autobiography of Yogi.
Yeah.
Again, I spoke about maybe Swami Chinmayananji or Sai Baba. You'd be surprised. All those people have written books. These are guiding people. I'll tell you one very interesting book. It's called I Am That by Nisargadatta Maharaj. He's no more there, but half of the Europe follows him.
Yeah.
And he's just around the corner. Yeah. So I think you're absolutely right. So books like our Vedas and all our books are actually guiding people in meditation.
Yeah. I feel like some books are actually alive, but you only understand their life once you read them completely.
100%. So book is a documented form of the knowledge of the guru. A book is not just a book. Yeah. It's a living master in a book form.
100%.
Yes.
I understand that, and I think you understand that more deeply once you read a lot of spiritual books. The other book I'd really highly recommend to people is anything written by Sadhguru himself. But also there's this one book called Doorways to Light. It's a very easy read. It's about the astral world. Wow. And that is a topic I want to tackle right now on the podcast. Now, this book is written by someone called Guruji Krishnanand. They have a massive meditation center in Bangalore. It's between the Bangalore airport and the main city in a village called Taponagara, I think. That's the name of it. I highly recommend you read that book if you're interested in this concept of your soul leaving your body and traveling around the world. Yeah. Like as in, your consciousness and your mind using that pole vaulting technique, getting past your own physical body and then going and seeing the world and the universe.
Yes.
It's a very deep book. It's not everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand. A lot of people laugh upon this. Yeah. I also strongly recommend this one sentence which you should register in your head. True knowledge is knowing that you know nothing. I just feel that with the topic we're going to talk about right now, it might seem a little crazy, but keep listening. So, sir, I'm going to let you elaborate on what is the physical body versus what is the astral body.
Yeah, sure. So, we're talking about astral bodies, astral travel, astral meditation. It's a different plane altogether. So, what happens is that many people who are the beginners may not even believe it, saying that aisa hota nahi hai, how can you just go out and travel the world and come back? But there are enough evidences of people actually having out of the body experiences. And maybe people say, okay, once the person is dead, can he come back? Of course he can. There is a process. And I'm here not going to tell you about the out of the body experiences. But let me tell you, I have personally actually gone through these experiences.
Same.
So exactly. So what is happening is that till you experience it, it's like talking about sugar to somebody who has never tasted it.
100%.
And saying, how does sugar actually taste? I think it's very sweet. What do you mean by sweet? Sweet means this. I don't understand this. Sweet means
Yeah.
Like sweet means not bitter. I said, okay, it's not bitter. It's but what is sweet? He said, okay, wait. Open your mouth. Take this. Now you don't have to speak.
Yeah.
Now you experience what is sweetness.
Yeah.
So I think coming back to astral travel, I think it happens with a lot of people who practice it. So it's like any other vidya. It's not like a rocket science. But if you're actually in that space, you can actually go out of the body.
Your soul leaves the body.
Absolutely. And then comes back.
Yeah.
Because this body is only an instrument. And that's why when you look at the whole concept of punarjanma, so what is it's happening? So the body is changing.
Rebirth. This is
Exactly. The rebirth is that I am now, this soul is in this particular body, or this soul is actually using this body. The body will get worn off like an old cloth, bahut baar pehen liya. So let me go to a new one. So actually a body is traveling from one birth to another. And it is using different bodies in its spiritual journey. So as somebody put it, we are not human beings on a spiritual journey. It's actually we are spiritual souls on a human journey. Now coming back to astral travel, there are people who actually can use this body, go to this body, maybe enter into another body, use that body and come back.
wow.
So now this is at the physical level, but people can actually go to different planes.
I also feel that, all these things are beyond science, but you should also understand that science isn't as advanced as you think it is. There's still a lot for science to discover, especially the Western world. The Vedas, the ancient Indian books talk about things like this. And this is something you will not believe because you are tuned to reading your textbooks, understanding that the world works according to physics, chemistry, biology, maths, when there might be a fifth subject which you don't even know about. So this is that subject. So just listen to it with an open mind. Also understand that this is why I don't eat non-veg and I don't drink alcohol. Because if you make your body impure, you don't get beautiful experiences like this.
So remember one thing, BeerBiceps is beyond beer.
Yeah.
And beyond biceps also.
Pretty much, yeah. And these are few of the factors which keep your body pure. There's a lot of mental factors as well in terms of not getting agitated, not losing your peace, becoming angry, hurting other people. All that also kind of makes your system impure and you're not able to have astral experiences. I'm not some astral traveler. I've just had like a few here and there. When I'm in deep meditation sometimes, I can feel like, I do get an astral experience where I can see my body from like a bird's eye view.
Yes.
So has something like that happened to you?
So I think most of us go through it.
Okay.
So I think, but we are not aware of it consciously. So like, have you felt sometimes, that you're in a place completely for the first time and for a second it hits you and saying, I've been to this place before.
Deja vu.
So what is that experience? It's not by practice, but it's okay, I think I've been here.
Yeah.
I've seen this person. I've seen the same color, same room. This is not new to me.
Yeah.
But actually you have come there for the first time.
Yeah.
So that is actually a different experience. Maybe you can call it at a different plane, maybe out of the body. But it's not exactly out of the body or different plane, saying that, okay, what is this? You can't explain it. So coming back to me also, I've seen people who have been almost declared dead medically. But there are some processes, so there are other people who said, and actually, after almost like 24 hours, he's come back. And he's actually experiencing that, I had gone and then, somebody stopped me. I went to a different plane. And it's like, no, you have to go back. So, and there are many books also. So I'm not saying it is about science. It's also about real experiences. So there's a very famous book called as the Law of the Spirit World. I don't know if you heard about it. It's actually written by a person who actually was made to ride through a spirit.
Wow.
So yeah. So, and it is not, don't get frightened. It's not horror.
Yeah.
So when you say somebody makes you write a book, it's not like some devil entering into you. So you're actually allowing somebody to use your body, some divine soul.
Yeah.
So many people, when they say it's like black magic, no, it's not black magic. It's maybe white magic.
Yeah.
So you're allowing yourself to get empty and said, okay. So there are a lot of souls in this particular world who wants to do noble work. but they don't find a noble soul. So मेरे पास अच्छा काम कर रहा है, I want to do something very noble, but so here is a guy. They actually go and request him, can I use your body? If you allow it, actually a lot of noble works happen. So let me tell you, since you're asking about my experience, one of the spiritual masters used to tell something very deep. He said, the God also looks at the right people to do his work. But the question is that, are you that right person? So coming back to astral world, there are a lot of people, we call them Rishi Munis, and there are Sapta Rishis who are always there. They're all around, and there are Chiranjeevis, they never die. So if you look at Hanumanji, there are a lot of people who say, when did Hanumanji actually die? He never died, And there are great Rishis who are still around. So, but
in the astral world, you're saying?
They are in that world and this world simultaneously. So they travel in the astral world, but they come back to our world. People have experiences with them. So I think what is very important in that, let us not look at this world only being what we touch and feel and see.
Yeah. There's something beyond what we can feel around us.
And it exists parallelly.
Yeah.
Like if you look at this coffee glass, there are many dimensions to it. So one is the color, the shape, but it's also got heat. So can you see the heat? But it's hot. Okay. At the same time, there is a quality of, the material. So what happens is that it's like a sponge, So take a sponge and put it into hot water and take away everything. So if you look at the sponge, they say there is wetness in it, there is heat in it, there are pores also in it, and there's a color and a shape to it. Now, they're not different. They're all properties of the same object at the same time.
Yeah.
So I think the mind also can think simultaneously. It can be at two places simultaneously. It can travel and come back. And there are a lot of cases about, astral traveling at the physical level, I would say. So I don't know if you heard about stories of great realized souls. So they have been seen at two different physical places at the same time.
Yeah.
So we were at 7 o'clock here and somebody says, but he was 7 o'clock at my place, which is 200 kilometers away. So no. So I have a photograph. 7 o'clock, this particular place. And I said, no, I also have a photograph. Look, it's my mobile and you tally. Strange, right? But it's possible. So there are people who have used the same physical body to multiply. Then there is astral traveling. People go from this body, help out somebody, come back and use this particular body.
Yeah.
So let me give a very famous example from our Indian scriptures and history, I would say. It said that basically Adi Shankaracharya ji, okay, he was a yogi, astral traveler. So what happened is that he was a Bala Brahmachari, so he never got married and all those things. He had a debate with a scholar. And somewhere he was getting defeated on the part that he has never gone through the whole experience of being a married man. Because he was a Bala Brahmachari, so at the physical level, whatever, at the intellectual level, so okay, yeah, I buy your point. So when you're asking me questions about marriage, probably since I'm a Bala Brahmachari, I don't know. So it is said that actually, okay, wait. I will debate with you, but let me have an experience. That doesn't mean I have to go and get married. Okay, that doesn't mean I have to go through all cycles of being a married man. So it said that, he just went around and left his body, used the thing, went into a woman's body or a man's body or whoever is married. So he went through that experience to understand what is the mind of a person who is married and gone through that. And he comes back and says, okay, now ready? He's still a Bal Brahmachari. So that is consciously being, the yogis can do that. You can do it. For example, let's say, I don't know, there's a lot of people who said, okay, if I were to be like Gandhiji, okay, so Gandhiji's soul, is he still there in astral plane? Maybe. So invoke him and talk to him and then. So what I'm saying is that if your mind is getting tuned to other souls, you can actually go experience them out of the body or invite them into your body. Now, all this looks very, very grand and, very, very magical. But remember one thing, the moment you start misusing it, or rather using it without a guru, it can be dangerous. So I'm saying that it is important. They all are true. They all exist. But what's your purpose? The purpose should not be getting more powerful, famous and misuse it. So I think all this knowledge is important that you, as long as you're using it for your own spiritual and other spiritual benefits.
Yeah. Do you think there are people in the world who've used these powers to become rich and famous?
I'm not sure of that, but why not? So I think a person who's rich and famous for me is at two levels. The people who have actually, put a lot of hard efforts and say, I have become rich. But the real rich people feel that there is a karmic connection to it. So I don't just become rich overnight, So I think there is a blessings of maybe the divine universe or some God that you believe in. So I think I have met a lot of rich, super rich people across the globe, they're truly humble because, in spite of all the efforts that we put, there is something beyond which they feel, which we don't feel. And they sometimes don't explain it. So you try to tell them, what is the secret of your success? Bill Gates said it very nicely. Probably luck.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that's a quite an evolved statement. He's just writing off saying that I'm not successful because I am great. It's luck. So maybe one factor. But probably he must have its own destinies and karmas he's gone through. Well, that's why they're so humble.
Yeah.
In fact, I could see a lot of spiritual connection with people like, even Steve Jobs for that matter.
Yeah.
So as a young person, if you look at it, he was going around like a hippie, But the later part of Steve Jobs is very different from the first. He's gone through a lot of experiences, the bad days in Apple. He was kicked out from his own company. But he also officially quotes that he was a part of the Hare Krishna, he goes there. So somewhere, if you look at connect the dots, as you say, you find these souls who become rich, even for that matter, Rockefeller, they're all people who are at a very different level. They're at the physical level, they're like you and me. But the reality is that the mind is a very evolved mind. And I think somewhere they have those secrets which probably they never disclose. 100%. So I think why did Steve Jobs not allow his children to use iPhone? Everybody knows about it. It's a very strange story. The person who actually made iPhone for the whole world actually discouraged his own children from using it. So they knew that technology which I created may be distraction to a different level of growth.
Yeah, 100%.
So I think it's important to understand that spirituality has to be the base even to understand success at the material level.
Yeah. But coming back to astral travel, I know a lot of the listeners are still stuck on that. How do people get astral experiences? Like, what do you have to do to get an astral experience?
So 2-3 things, I think. If you're really interested in astral travel, I think first of all, sit quietly, maybe pray to God or universe and say, oh, mere ko astral travel experience de do. It's like, a small child who actually saw somebody else having a chocolate. Okay, and then he comes home and says, mama, please. Yeah. You don't know where the chocolate is coming from, which shop to go to. So I think you first put the thought into the universe. Okay, that's a very basic level. But I think what's very important is to probably read about it, practice it, understand it, and try baby steps.
Yeah.
And I would say that for all those people who want to actually get into the real experience, please find a guru. But as I told you, before you find a guru, you have to be a really sincere student.
Yeah.
So maybe you can read about it, try about it, all those things.
Yeah.
But it's very important that you start with the help of those people who already are in a group. So probably the spiritual organizations.
Yeah.
There could be organizations which actually practice these sciences.
Yeah.
So become a part of it, because don't make it a lonely journey. Have some people who have traveled the journey before you, and they will give you those experiences.
Yeah. So a lot of people actually, as a YouTuber, we've made basic meditation videos.
Yeah.
My experiences with meditation.
Yes.
This is how you do basic Om chanting.
Yeah.
But when we are learning advanced meditations in our meditation schools, we are specifically told that do not share this knowledge on a public platform.
True.
Because they don't want that Chinese whispers effect.
Yes.
They don't want that knowledge to be a little bit
Tweaked
shifted
around,
or tweaked.
Yes.
And even after practicing, now I think I've been practicing advanced meditation with BeerBiceps for around 2 years.
Wow.
And I'm still not perfect with the technique. There are still tiny mistakes I make, which if I'm doing my yogas in their center, some senior person will come and correct me saying, you're moving your finger in not the way it should be moved and all that. So I'm still perfecting my own technique. That's why we can't put out the information on the internet. But if you are in search for it, I think the call to action for you is first read those books. Read Autobiography of Yogi. Read Sadhguru's books.
Yeah.
Read Doorways to Light. Would you recommend any other books that people should read initially?
So in fact, to inspire all of you, if you're not even into it, I would suggest that one very beautifully written book, which has inspired me into astral travel, also is Many Life, Many Masters.
Yeah.
It's a very common book. It's actually about an American doctor who actually sees, after that experience of many of his patients, Many Life, Many Masters, and he sees, this. So he's actually, since he's a doctor and he's able to observe a lot of people who are dying, he says during death, people go through a very strange experience, and he tries to map it scientifically because we like science logic, right? And then he finds that, whenever a person is dying, he's actually communicating to someone, speaking a different language or something. So what is the pattern? And he realized that every particular soul actually has got a spiritual master with him throughout the life.
Wow.
But you're not even aware of it. It's like a shadow around you, but you're not even aware of it. But it's actually which is protecting you. So it seems when a child in the womb or the person who's closer to the death actually can speak and talk to them. So he starts talking to them, understanding them, and then he realizes that actually we are all people who have a karmic way of keeping those masters with us. So I would suggest that in that book he decodes, and they say many life and there are many masters who are with you. It's a very beautiful book and a real life experience book of a great doctor. So scientifically proven that it works. So please read that also.
Yeah, so read the books. And second, genuinely go for one of these courses.
Yes.
Go for inner engineering,
Absolutely.
maybe Alisha Foundation. I'm sure Chinmaya Mission has like
Absolutely,
some
yes.
courses as
Yes,
well.
yes.
YSS has a self-study course, which I use. Basically, they send you self-study material at your house.
Yes.
So that you can practice in the comfort of your own house.
You are absolutely right, or maybe Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, or any
Yeah,
of them.
Art
The
of
best part about this particular country, as you said, is that there are too many masters.
Yeah, yeah.
But at least choose one
Yeah.
who is closer to your heart.
Yeah. And don't kind of keep yourself away from going down that master path because of, you know, the bad reputation of all these like the random gurus and all that. That's not a good generalization to make. There are a lot of evolved souls
Yes.
who have way more knowledge than any scientist in the world right now also.
Can I give you a practical trip?
Sure, sir.
I think if you want to really get into this, try an expedition in Himalayas,
Okay.
because that's a different place. Himalaya is a part of this earth, but it is not.
Any specific place in the Himalayas? that
So I
you-
would say just go from Rishikesh, anything upwards. It could be Uttarkash, it could be Gangotri, Kedarnath, Yamuna, Yamunotri. So why I'm saying the Himalayas is the closest place that you can connect to the other world. And there are so many yogis, just sitting there. I have met so many of them. And I mean, I'm so fortunate that I actually run a company called Atma Darshan, which is into spiritual tourism.
Wow.
And I remember in the initial stages when I used to do my research, I used to just land up in Himalayas and I found so many people in that cold without a single, piece of cloth on their body, and saying, how is it possible? And all these people still exist. And what we're talking about, the gurus right now, is those gurus whom you maybe meet in the normal situations, the popular gurus. But there are also yogis sitting in the Himalayas today. I'm talking about today's generation. So I'm saying that you want to just get a feel of it, just take a trip to the Himalayas with an open mind, of course.
Yeah.
Just go there and you'll come back. If you look at autobiography, Yogi, Meher Baba is still there in physical form. But many people have not seen it. But many people have the experience of talking to such gurus. So I think the basic thing in all your travel plan and itinerary, Himalayan trip, and especially the Indian spiritual Himalaya part of it. And when I'm saying Himalaya, many people go for the Everest part of it also.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about that. I'm saying just go, just be there. I'm telling you, God will bless you.
Yeah. The other key takeaway I want people to take from this podcast is something that's helped me throughout my journey. Even if you are just starting out, have a very open mind.
Yeah.
True knowledge is knowing that you know nothing. So just be open to any kind of experience that your physical body will have, any astral experience that you will have. Anything that someone else is teaching you from a spiritual perspective, don't just diss and say that, no, this is not possible, or what are you saying?
Yeah.
Because you've not experienced it yet. Remember that you only use 10% of your mind and there's still 90% to go. But if you start meditating, you can go down that 90% road. So
Spiritual growth to all of you. Let the great Lord there help you and guide you in the field of meditation.
yes, 100%. Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai, sir, thank you. I hope you enjoyed the podcast.
I'm learning from you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. It's an honor.
Of course, I'll be linking all of Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai's books down below, all the links down below. Please check it out. And until next time, guys, on the Ranveer Show, we will see you later.
Thank you.